Okay, we are going to do some business modeling. This video is going to be about the first level of business modeling. The second one will be about the second level of business modeling. This is just kind of diving into some basics before we get into some of the more advanced stuff. Okay, let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen here. All right. So what we're really looking for to do in this business model is we're trying to discover our money metrics. Okay, so our money metrics are the numbers that drive your company, right? Every strategic decision should be in consideration of these numbers. All right, so the first one is, what is our revenue goal? Like, okay. Now, how much is our average customer worth? All right. How many new customers do we need to get to hit our revenue goal? How many total customers do we need to have to hit our revenue goal? The number of leads that we need to get the number of new customers to hit our revenue goal. And then last but not least, one of the most absolutely important metrics in your business, your customer acquisition budget. How much can I afford to spend to get a customer? This number dictates every strategic decision you do based on your sales and marketing. Any sales and marketing spend that you're out there doing, you should be asking yourself, okay, these people want $10,000 from me. Well, my customer acquisition budget is $1,000. So you want $10,000? I'll give you $10,000, but you need to give me back 10 customers, right? Because you divide it out. If you don't understand your customer acquisition budget, right, you can't even do that math. You don't even know whether what they're asking for is a lot or a little, or whether they're doing a good job or not, right? Okay, so you notice here it says X and Y, okay? That applies to the business model. We kind of think of it like a money machine. I know that kind of sounds a little corny, but it really is, okay? And the money machine works like this. You are going to spend X, customer acquisition budget, to make Y, your average customer value, as many times as humanly possible, okay? So your money machine is input, output, X, Y, X, Y, X, Y, okay? And the levers that we can pull are things like being able to make our average customer worth more money, which then gives us a larger budget for acquiring that customer, which then lets us outbid people on things like clicks, right? Okay, so first, we're going to look at our per customer value, all right? And the way we're going to think of the easiest way to think of per customer value is just kind of like a bell curve, right? So you kind of have not so profitable customers, you have really profitable customers, and then you kind of have everyone in between. Okay, so we're just going to do a straight bell curve, 20, 60, 20. Okay, so when we look at building out this model, we're just going to do it just like that. So let's look at customer type 1. 20% of our customers are customer type 1. These customers are worth $1,000 to us. And I want you to build this just like I'm building it, and then you could go back and build it for yourself. Okay, but just follow along this first time just so you can kind of understand what's going on, and then you could tweak it for yourself. Okay, so let's say 60% of our customers are worth $5,000. All right. Then let's say 20% of our customers are worth $8,000. Okay. Okay. So we got $4,800. Our average customer value is $4,800. Now let's talk about why this is average customer value, because a few things here. You can use this number however you want to use this number. This is a super simplified version of this, but some people might want to use this as customer lifetime value, or some people might want to use this as 1 year value, right? Because when you're building a customer acquisition system, it's really hard to build a customer acquisition system built off of the lifetime value of your customer. If the lifetime value of your customer is like 10 years or something, it's like, I can't afford to pay that much up front to retrieve money over the next 10 years, right? So for average customer value, I really like to stick with the first year value of that customer. But again, you can play with this, and I left it intentionally very vague, average customer value, so you can go with whatever direction you feel comfortable with. I like first year. Okay, so let's say our average customer is worth $4,800 in that first year, right? And additionally in the second year. And so then we can start, and when we get into the modeling level 2, we'll start to get into some of the more advanced stuff like that. But for this, let's just keep it really simple. Let's just say, hey, our average customer is worth $4,800. Cool. All right. Now, what's our revenue goal? All right, well, let's say our revenue goal is we want to make $1 million. Let's just say that. Okay, so what is our revenue goal? So how much is our average customer worth? We just figured that out, $4,800. So we're just going to go up here. We're going to put $4,800. All right, perfect. Now, what's our revenue goal? Let's say our revenue goal is $1 million. All right, okay, 1 million. So that means this number, our revenue, needs to equal 1 million. So how many total customers do we need to get there. Okay, there we go. We're at 1 million. Okay, so let's say we have, well, let's go more like this. Let's say we have 200 current customers. Actually, we'll say 180. 180. Let's bring it down even more. Bring it close to. There we go. About 1 million. Okay, so we have 170 current customers, right? And we need to get 50 new customers to give us a total of 220 customers. Now, if you don't have current customers because you're selling something that's always just one-off, right? And there's no monthly reoccurring or repeat customers or anything like that, then all you would do is you would just put your current customers at 0 and you need all new customers, right? To get to where we want to go. So whether it's new customers or total customers, or new customers or current customers, our total customers need to be 220, right? Because 220 times 4,800 gives us just over $1 million. All right. So let's say that we're anticipating that our average conversion rate on leads will be, I don't know, 15%. We're going to close 15% of leads. Well, let's say 20. Maybe some of those are warm leads, some of those are cold leads, some are closing at 10%, some are closing at 30%. We'll call it 20%. Okay, so that means, and this is annual. So this year, we need to get 1,100 leads. Whatever a lead is. A lead, if you're running an e-commerce business, you might say a lead is a visitor to your website. So now your conversion from visitors to your website to new customers is like 2% or something, right? So now you're like, okay, well, I need to get 11,000 people on my website. Whatever it is, you can hone this for yourself, right? Depending whatever you want to call a lead, right? And I try to keep it intentionally very vague so you can apply it to whatever business model you want to apply it to. Okay, so going back, we're going to say we need 50 and we have 180 current customers or 170 current customers. We're going to go get 50 new customers. We're anticipating our conversion rate at 20%, so we need 250 leads. Okay, so we're already figuring out these numbers. So number of total customers required to hit my goal, well, it looks like I need 220, okay? 220, okay? Number of new customers required to hit my goal. Well, it looks like I need 50. Okay. Number of leads required to hit your new customer goal. Okay. Well, it looks like I need 250. All right. Now the last number, how much can I afford to spend to get a customer? All right. This is the customer acquisition budget. So let's go down here to our P&L. This is our company P&L. On a P&L, you have these basic line items. Okay. You have your top line revenue. Underneath your top line revenue is your hard cost of goods sold. Okay. Got a water bottle. You got to buy this water bottle before you sell the water bottle. How much did the water bottle cost you? That's your hard cost of goods sold, right? All right. And then we have our general and admin, rent, utilities, et cetera, insurance. We have our sales and marketing budget. This is our customer acquisition budget. And we have our profit. Now, I love digging into FCC filings for fun to see how companies spend money because I don't know, I'm a nerd like that. And I've also worked with a lot of companies. So I'm going to give you just a very broad stroke for what the most average numbers that I see in here are, just so you can kind of have a starting point. Okay. But keep in mind, this is going across a lot of industries and a lot of specialties. So revenue, 100%, obviously. Cost of goods sold usually ranges between 40 and 60%. So we're going to call it 50%. General and admin usually ranges around 10 to 15%. So we're just going to call that 10%. Sales and marketing is usually between 10 and 30%. We want to lean towards the upper end. So we're going to call this 25%. Okay. And then our profit is usually somewhere between 10 and 20%. All right. Now, again, I'm painting very wide strokes here, but that's at least a good starting point for you if you're not quite sure how to organize your budgets. That's super important. All right. So when we look at our P&L, we're trying to make $1 million here. And our average, so this is our total, and this is our per customer, right? So if our average customer is $4,800, right, which we figured out before, and 25% of that money is going to acquire that customer, then that tells us that our customer acquisition budget is $1,200. That's how you figure out your customer acquisition budget, CAB. Very important number, all right? $1,200. So boom, there it is. We are going to spend $1,200 to make $4,800 as many times as humanly possible. That's our money machine. All right. So if someone comes to you and says, hey, I want $12,000 to run this sales or marketing campaign, You say, perfect. Well, I know my customer acquisition budget is 1,200 and you're asking for 12,000. So that means here's $12,000, but I sure hope I get 10 customers in return, or this didn't work. Now you have performance metrics and budgets so that you can smartly hire sales and marketers. All right. So let's say you go out and hire a sales and marketer to do a thing. All right. So you want to track them. All right. So how many leads do we need? We need 250 leads converting at 20%, which gives us 50 new customers. So 250 leads converting at 20% gives us 50 new customers. This is our goal, right? Our average customer value is 4,800. So we're going to go here. We're going to put 4,800 in here. All right. So this gives us our total value created of $240,000, right? 50 customers at 4,800 a piece is $240,000, which is how much more we needed in our revenue here to get to our revenue goal, right? The rest of the revenue was already from customers that were current customers, right? We're increasing our revenue by 240,000. Okay, so now we have our goal, all right? And we have our customer acquisition budget, right? What's our customer acquisition budget? Here, $1,200. So let's put $1,200 in there. So this is going to give us our total sales and marketing spend. All right, so we're going to be spending $60,000 to create $240,000. And our return on investment is going to be 300%, right? Okay, so how does this go? You want to track it every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, how many total leads? This is super important, as of, meaning total leads, total customers, not just how many did we do in this 2 weeks, how many do we do, is as of, okay? So what we're going to be doing to track our performance of anything you're doing, this could be your entire system or just one individual campaign. You are going to be comparing your customer acquisition budget against your customer acquisition cost. Budget versus cost. All metrics are cumulative, okay? The grand total as of now, okay? By week 6, we have 20 total clients, not 20 new clients in week 6 alone, right? So let's say week 1, we had 10 leads, created 1 new customer, and then we had another 10 leads, which converted to I don't know, 3 customers. And then eventually we had 40 leads converting to, I don't know, I'm just throwing numbers in here, 20 customers. And all this is doing, this is going to tell you, you have 1 customer, that customer is worth 4,800. So this is the total value created as of now, right? So we've created almost $100,000 in value, not revenue, right? Because everything averages out, right? But in value, we've created about $100,000 in value as of week 6, right? Okay, now let's look at our customer acquisition budget. How much money do we spend? Let's say we spent $5,000 in the first 2 weeks, and we spent another $5,000 in the next 2 weeks, and we spent another $5,000 in the next 2 weeks. By week 6, we've spent $15,000, right? And we've gotten 20 customers. So 15,000 divided by 20 tells us that our current customer acquisition cost is $750. And our customer acquisition budget is $1,200. So at this point, it's working. But notice before we got to this point, it was not working. But it was trending in the right direction. This is why you want to track it every 2 weeks to be like, are we trending in the right direction? How long is it going to be before our cost is less than our budget? And this is just a really high level way to know, is my strategies working? Because you're just comparing what is my customer acquisition cost versus my customer acquisition budget. All right. I hope this was helpful. This is something that you absolutely need to understand before you spend any money on sales and marketing. This is the baseline of building a customer acquisition system.